Welcome to Ignalina, the land of 200 lakes. You'll find Ignalina district municipality in the east of Lithuania, bordering Belarus. It is 1.5 hours drive away from the capital Vilnius, making it an easy weekend getaway destination. The population of Ignalina district reaches around 14,500 in 2020. The largest urban area is Ignalina city, the district capital. It was established in the middle of 19th century, although people lived there since the Stone Age. The name Ignalina even has a legend about its origins. There used to be a castle at the side of a lake, Ilgis. Its master, Duke Budrys, had 9 sons and 1 daughter, Lina. When the Crusaders attacked their land, all the men went to war, but didn't come back, and Lina became the ruler. However, she fell in love with a crusader named Ignas, who was held captive. People condemned Lina for her choice and cursed them on their wedding day, and God Perkūnas destroyed the castle and sank it into the bottom of the lake Ilgis. Throughout the centuries, locals used to hear Lina crying, and when a town was built nearby, it was named Ignalina. The two names merged together to remind everyone of their love. You can learn more about Ignalina at its regional museum in the city. Oh, and a quick note. If you are interested in visiting Ignalina nuclear power plant, which is in the process of decommissioning, you will not find it in Ignalina. You'll have to go to the Saginas municipality, 50 kilometers away. The nuclear plant is called after Ignalina because it was built before the Saginas municipality was established. Let's go back to Ignalina now. The whole Ignalina district is famous for its lakes and the beautiful Aukštaitija National Park, which covers a large part of the district. It is known not only for the beauty of natural landscape filled with hills, lakes and forests, but also for its historical and traditional heritage sites. The first place to go to when you're at Aukštaitija National Park is Palūšė village. There you can start with a visit to the National Park's Visitor Center, where you can get all the information about the park and its touristic routes. And the village itself has a lot to show on its own. Palūšė is famous for its wooden church built in 18th century. It is one of the oldest wooden churches in Lithuania, and it was built without nails. The only tool used was an axe. It stays in a great shape to this day. Next to the churchyard, you can check out an archaeological recreation of a Stone Age hut and the burial mound exposition. Palūšė has active local community and we organize many events throughout the year. I got lucky to see the autumn harvest feast, with all the dancing and singing. In Palūšė, you can also go on a short hike through the botanical educational path, which stretches by the Lake Lūšiai and through the forest and smaller lakes around. The path is 3.5 kilometers long, and the nature there is quite diverse. Walking along the trail, you'll be able to observe 150 different plant species. After finishing the circular route, you'll find yourself at the beach of the Lake Lūšiai. If traveling during the summer, that would be a great place to rest and have a dip. Aukštaitija National Park has plenty more lakes to offer, and from Palūšė you can go on a trip through the park by car, bike, or even by boat or kayaking, because the numerous lakes are connected by small rivers. The next place to see is Ladakalnis. It is a tall hill of 175 meters height. That's quite tall for Lithuania. It is situated at one of the most picturesque places in Lithuania. It is said that when climbing to the top of the hill, one should bring a stone and put it at the altar by the oak tree, dedicated to the ancient pagan goddess Lada, the mother of all plants and animals. After climbing and bringing the gift to the goddess, you will be rewarded with a beautiful panorama of 6 lakes from the top of the hill. Going further through the lake routes, you'll find Ginochi Watermill. It was built in 19th century with the purpose of flour making. Today you can check out a small museum inside with the machinery used at the mill, or even spend the night there in the guest rooms. However, the museum is open only from May till end of September. In the same village there also is an overlook tower. It is the only one in Lithuania merged with a communication tower. It also provides a spectacular view of the surrounding nature, if you would dare to climb it. The next stop in the national park is Ancient Beekeeping Museum in Stripeikiai village. The village is known since 14th century, and for a very long time it was famous for its beekeeping traditions. The museum is situated in one of the traditional homesteads, surrounded by wooden sculptures and beehives. The exposition is divided into different zones, displaying from the ancient honey hunting and old gods related to beekeeping to modern beekeeping style. Indoors, you can learn more about beekeeping and other things related to it through its interactive exposition. If you come in a bigger group, join some of the many workshops the museum can organize. Otherwise, after learning all about bees, you can stay a bit longer and go to relaxation zone and chill in a hammock, have a picnic, or even make a barbecue. The museum also celebrates monthly events. May has Day of the Bees, June has the Midsummer Festival, July has the Day of 100 Linden Blossoms, and August has the ending of honey harvest celebration. This also means that the museum is not active throughout the colder months. After enjoying the honey and the peaceful nature, you can check out some of the architectural heritage around Ignalina district. There are plenty of manor houses around here, though many of them are private. But you can still explore some of them. Dukštas Manor House is situated at the beautiful lakeside in the north of Ignalina district. It was built in 19th century, and for some time there lived a famous painter at the time, Jonas Rustemas. Today you can have a walk through Manor's beautiful gardens and enjoy the lake view. Another manor house became famous in the recent years as a hotel and a cultural hub of the whole Ignalina district. Paliesius Manor was built in the 18th century, but not much of it survived throughout the ages. However, the current owners managed to revive the supervisor's house, which looks impressive on its own, and converted the horseshoe-shaped barn into a concert hall. Today you'll find there a hotel, spa, restaurant, the already mentioned concert hall, and even a physical exertion therapy clinic. The manor organizes classical music concerts every week, making it a great cultural countryside destination, all surrounded by nature and history. However, if you'd like to see more of untouched architectural relics, then check out Kazukinė Manor House ruins. The manor is known since 18th century, but the current ruins are from the buildings built at the end of 19th century and beginning of 20th century. Still, the stone constructions look beautiful in their own way, merged with its latest inhabitant, nature. One more place to mention in the Ignalina district would be more rewarding to the little travelers, after exploring all the historical places. Birds Village is a great destination for those who travel with children. There you can learn a lot about birds and other farm animals and see the different types of eggs the birds lay. We have numerous types of chickens, peacocks, pheasants, geese, even ostriches and rheas. Also, other animals like rabbits, sheep, goats, alpacas. Birds Village is a part of Aukštaitija National Park and is also famous for their educational programs created for school-age children. But anyone can visit and have a great time. Just don't forget some bread or carrots to bring with you. Overall, Ignalina district is a destination for relaxation, nature, and water tourism, with a touch of history and traditions. It is one of the most popular places in Lithuania for hiking, cycling, and kayaking throughout its beautiful countryside. See you in Ignalina. Thanks for watching.